What if you could get into David Bayer's mind and actually have a conversation with him in addition to reading this amazing book called A Changed Mind? Well, that's exactly what I'll be covering here on this video. What's up, guys? My name is Nico Rapklis. I've been in the personal development space for practically 20 years, the online business space for over 10 years, created hundreds and thousands of pieces of content, read, unlimited amount of personal development books. And on this video, I want to walk you through a really powerful way to read a book like this. I'll give you my practices, my implementations to help me dial this in deeper and let it seep deep into my subconscious, so that isn't just about reading a book one time, but then it's internalized into me so that I can take this information and go and apply it to my life. I'm also going to be showing you how I would use AI and walk you through basically kind of a prompt flow and give you an exact prompt to help you get the most out of this book. That sound good? Capiche? Cool. Let's get with it. So I made a video on this channel probably about a month ago after I ran into David for a second time. I had a really embarrassing time the first time I met him, that maybe I'll explain here on this. But, I got a copy of his book after going to this event, and I was just at a space where his message deeply resonated with me, talking about how, getting into a powerful state versus a primal state. And so I'd really been on this kick. I've made a lot of videos on Dr. Joe Dispenza on this YouTube channel about heart coherence. And so I was correlating both of these, and is basically, what state are you in? And so whether you want to call that a powerful state or a heart coherent state or an amazing state, a joyful, proud, grounded, centered state, whatever you want to call it, right? My goal these days is to be in that state more than 51% of the day, because I know if I'm in that state, that's when I become really powerful. That's when I have the ability to let go of the things that I hold on to so much, right? I've made a lot of videos on this channel as well about holding on too tight and letting go. And that's really a mission that I'm on now, is just to continue to let go more and more every day. I've traditionally been a little bit more wound tight, and it's not been the most amazing thing for me and my business and my relationships. And so I'm committed to letting go of that more. And so that's one of the biggest things that I got out of this book, is how often can I be in that powerful state? And I was noticing this, and something I love to share on these YouTube videos as well is my perspective and my experiences. So not only hey, go read a book, but how am I actually applying these into my life, right? And that's the other big thing. And I'm going to share with you here a little bit on ChatGPT on how you can utilize this stuff and what is the biggest key with all of this, but it's context. And so the more you read this stuff, the more you can seep it down into your beautiful subconscious and have it seep down into an identity level where you can really relate to this stuff. That's when these things become really, really powerful. So anyways, I made a video the other day. It was talking about letting go. We used ChatGPT to take you through a process of letting go, and it really helped me and impacted me in a big way. And I love the fact that not only am I making these YouTube videos, but they're impacting me in a big way while I'm making them. So it's kind of hitting two stones with one bird. You know what I'm saying? Anyways, all right. So story time. Here we go. I was in the sauna last night, and this stuff had just been reflecting with me. This idea that I wanted to make another YouTube video about this book came in, and I was sitting there. It's the end of the day. I just had a really successful, productive day, and it was the first one I've had in quite some time, because I've just been bogged down lately with building our Vision Espresso app and just hammering away at that and just not doing much besides working, right? So, and then after making that YouTube video yesterday talking about letting go and wanting to let go more and more, because I really had this grand realization that I've just been really wound tight for most of my life, whether that's money, whether that's stress, whether that was baseball, whether that was business success, whether that was relationships. And I'm just I'm just ready to let go, truly, a deeper level of letting go, a deeper level of trust, a deeper level of faith. And so what do you know? I'm sitting there, I'm meditating. It's, a great time of the day to just, surrender and let go, and just taking big, deep breath. And I'm sitting there, and what do you know? The door swings wide open. It's a small little red light sauna. or infrared sauna. So there's not much space. It's basically like a 2-seater. And this guy just swings the door open. I'm like very calm, meditative, and he's like blasting headphones, like just triggered the shit out of me. And on top of that, this guy has already annoyed me at the gym because in the locker room, he's got his stuff like all over the place, and it's just like his shoes, and the locker area is not very big either, and it triggers me. It annoys me. I'm like, what are you doing? Like, have some respect for everyone else. And then on top of that, when my girlfriend and I were sitting in basically a 2-seater sauna, this dude comes charging in. This was like several weeks ago, and just like opens and like, hey, can I get in? I'm like, bro, this is like a 2-seater. Like, what are you doing? And there's a secondary sauna. So I'm like, ugh. So anyways, all this is piled up. And then I even had this thought. This was a while ago, because of the fact that he's got all his stuff all over the place inside of the locker room, and the locker's like swung open. And what's interesting about this gym that I go to, it's got these digital lockers. And so basically you can just program them whatever key code that you want. And then until you open it with that same key code, it won't open, right? It's a lock. So the fact that he leaves all his shit all over the place, I've had this thought of taking all his stuff, throwing it in a locker, throwing it shut, locking it, and like he'd be shit out of luck because he's in his towel and swimsuit and gets back in the locker and all his shit's just in a locker. So I played this in my mind several times, but what I'm getting to, why I'm sharing all of this, is that so I'm sitting there and having this strong desire and wanting to truly commit to letting go and surrendering more, and this guy is just like, case in point, test right away, swings the door wide open, just walks in, blaring headphones, like every reason for me to be triggered. But every reason for me to be like, okay, this is such a great opportunity for me to continue to let go. And so instead of like, oh, this guy's pissing me off and sitting right next to me with his blaring headphones, I'm like, all right, this is a true opportunity to take this to the next level of truly surrendering and trusting and letting go and just having a loose grip on this situation. And so I just continued to breathe deep. And so that's one of the biggest things for me, is that to get myself in a powerful state, a heart resonant state, out of the primal state, the stress state, the holding on, the tight grip state, is deep breathing. And so I even have a tool that shows me where I am in terms of heart coherence. And everything that I've seen and everything I've tested so far, the best thing that I can do is doing deep breaths in a 6-count segment. So I breathe in. So just like that, like 6 in, 6 out. And that's what puts me in a heart coherent state. And so yes, there was a natural inclination, there was a natural trigger, there was a natural response to be like, so angry with this guy and I want to hold on and say something to him. Or I could breathe in 6 counts, breathe deep, and then just get back to my normal rhythm and allow my body to get into a coherent state, a powerful state. And then I can just like be present, even though this guy is right next to me. It's not having much bearing on me. And so I wouldn't say that I did it perfect by any means, but I would say that I did a lot better than I would have in the past, right? And again, that's one of the biggest things that I've recognized from this book, is the decision to be in the powerful state, into the heart coherent state, as opposed to reactively falling into the passively aggressive primal state, if you want to call it that, right? And so on top of that, I want to jump into AI real quick because, we talk about this stuff all the time. And so before we do get into that, and I'm going to share with you a prompt, and happy to share this with you. If you want to put a prompt in the comments down below, I can share it with you. It's really about making the decision to dive into this type of stuff, right? Because with AI, I had a realization with one of my friends. I was asking me, like, how do I use AI? How do I have conversations with it? Do you go get researched? Would you just, like, instead of reading a book, would you come and just go to AI and get a cliff notes on the book? And it was interesting because I was thinking about it and I was like, well, yeah, I love getting AI. It's like so fast and so quick. But then I also realized the way you amplify AI infinitely is you get as much context as you possibly can. And so what I've shared about a lot of the books that I read is I love reading, and I love reading quickly because I don't love reading slowly. And in fact, I'm not a great reader, to be honest. And I had a really challenging time with this before because of the fact that as much as I loved learning, I didn't love reading because every time I would read it, my thoughts would trail off, right? And I'd be on page 3 when I forgot I was even reading on page 1. Like, it just, my mind went elsewhere. And so one of the best things that I've come to discover in terms of reading, so that I can get as much context as possible, so then I can come to AI and feed it this prompt that I'm going to share with you, is I listen to the audiobook and I read the physical one at the same time. And so I just know that I'm an auditory, visual, and kinesthetic learner. So I like holding things, and I like hearing things, and I like seeing things. And so when I encompass all of those senses, that helps me retain the information more and more so that I can have more context. It gets down into my subconscious. I can apply it to my life. Then I start sharing and teaching about it. That's why I love making these YouTube videos, to tell people what I learned from this. And this is a practice that I learned a while ago, having been in masterminds, and that was our whole protocol, is that we'd learn stuff and then we'd share it with the group. We'd speak it out in voice notes. And so this is just another version of that. So if you're looking to retain more information, like A Changed Mind or any other book, so that you can be in more of a powerful state on a more consistent basis, then I would strongly recommend that. It's helped me. It's significantly helped me. If I didn't have that whole little protocol, I don't know where I would be, because anytime I was reading, I just felt like I was getting left behind. But the first time I did it, I remember it was a Jack Canfield book. I read this thing. It was probably like 500 pages in a matter of a couple days, and it felt like the biggest unlock and hack that I've ever experienced. Okay, so now let's go to AI. Now that we have context on the book and we've read it, we've internalized it, and now we can give AI as much context as we possibly can. I'm going to use a tool called Whisper Flow. I just hold down the function key. I can start talking as opposed to typing. It lets the energy flow out of me and get everything out that's in me so that I can, communicate with chat. And then also I'll basically give you my prompt to make this even more powerful. Yo, what's up, chat? I'm reading a book called A Changed Mind by David Bayer. And so what I'd like to do after reading this book and internalizing it, I want to anchor in even deeper. And one of the biggest things that I got out of this book is the fact that you want to make a decision to be in a powerful state more often than you are in a primal state. And so my goal is to be in there at least 51% of the day in a powerful state as opposed to that primal state. But in addition to that, I'm making a YouTube video to show people how you can actually get the most out of a book like this. And so what I'd love for you to do is give me a breakdown summary of A Changed Mind by David Bayer. Key lessons, takeaway items, action items. Also, why don't you give it to us in simplified language and metaphors and story format, as well as direct application to my life. Give it to us in a 5-year-old version as well, and then also just anchor it in with a quiz at the end so we can really retain the information. So I love talking it out as opposed to typing. It's so much quicker, it's so much faster, and it allows me to just get everything out as opposed to like trying to think about it too much. Just let it flow, okay? So, a summary of A Changed Mind. The book argues that the human mind lives in one of two states, powerful states: creative, calm, solution-driven, connected to intuition, gratitude-based, high performance and consciousness; primal state: fear, scarcity, control, stress, fight or flight, reactive, proactive, and survival mode. Bayer's central claim: transformation happens when you learn to shift yourself into a powerful state on command and live there the majority of the time. Even 51% of the time changes your entire life trajectory, right? That's what we've been talking about. He gives the second tools around awareness of the liar mind, the inner voice generating false threats, rewriting meaning, breathing to reset the nervous system, asking powerful questions, creating new interpretations intentionally, letting go of resistance, understanding that suffering equals resistance to what is. Key lessons: your meaning is creating your reality. Events aren't stressful, your interpretation is. Your nervous system dictates your productivity. You cannot create while your body thinks it's being chased by a tiger. Suffering: being in in conflict with reality. When you wish something weren't happening, you suffer. The mind tells lies meant to keep you safe, not empowered. He calls that the voice of the liar. Shifting state is the single biggest skill. Not manifesting, not strategy, state. Because your state dictates your perception, your decision-making, creativity, courage, openness, intuition, and ability to take action. 6, 51% is the tipping point. You don't need to be perfect. Just one more minute of powerful state living, then primal state living changes everything. Action items. Catch the primal state. Ask, what am I feeling? Where in the body is it? What thoughts did I attach to this? Is that thought true? Usually no. Interrupt it with breath, slow, long exhales. Parasympathetic nervous system turns on. The brain stops interrupting threat. Ask better question. His famous one is, what would I need to believe right now to feel empowered? Or what else could this mean? I really like that one. What would I need to believe right now to feel more empowered, right? Recreate the meaning. Replace the primal interpretation with powerful one. I'm overwhelmed. This is stretching me into my next level. Anchored, powerful state behavior. Gratitude, visualization, journaling, stillness, breathing, and focusing on what's true, not what's feared, which these all encompass the Vision Espresso that I'll share with you here at the end of this video. Direct application to your life, Vision Espresso context. Your business relies on powerful state leadership. When you're in powerful state, your content hits harder. Your ghost writer GPT writes clear. That's funny. Your system building becomes effortless. You attract more aligned partnerships. You communicate with conviction. You move fast. Things feel lighter. Intuitive decisions become obvious. Your workflow becomes smoother. Every time you feel overwhelmed with Base 44 integration, Zapier triggers, new funnels, content strategy, partnership, negotiations, that's primal state. Pause, shift, resume from powerful state. Your YouTube videos become more magnetic. People feel your state more than your words. State transfer is real. Let me know. Are you feeling my state right now? Your relationships improve. When you're powerful, you're present. When you're primal, you're defensive. You execute your 75 Easy and Vision Espresso ecosystem better. You don't need to be perfect. Just win 51% moments. I'd recommend tracking. How many times did you catch myself? How many times did I catch myself today? How many times did I shift? Okay, if you do this daily, you're winning. Simplified metaphors in story format. 2 radio stations. You've got 2 channels. Channel 1, Primal FM, plays doubt, fear, overwhelm, stress. Channel 2, Powerful FM, plays clarity, courage, creativity, resourcefulness. Your day depends on which radio you're tuned into. Most people don't choose, they react. They let the dial spin automatically. Bear's whole book is grab the dial, choose your station. Even 51% makes you a different human being. Story format, the 2 wolves. Inside of you are 2 wolves. The primal wolf, anxious, reactive, loud, dramatic. The powerful, calm, wise, strategic, intuitive. Which wolf you feed most becomes the leader of your life. Feed the powerful wolf 51% of the time. Your business, relationships, and income all change. Story, the surfer. Imagine you're surfing. The wave life is coming whether you want it or not. Primal state says you, I hope the waves slow down. You freeze, you get crushed. Powerful state, you say, let me catch this wave. You breathe, you choose, you stand up. The same wave becomes a ride instead of a threat. Life doesn't change, you do. Okay, 5-year-old version. Okay, kiddo. Red button, scared mode. You think something bad is happening. Your tummy feels tight. You want to hide or yell. Green button, superhero mode. You feel brave. You think happy thoughts. You solve problems. You make smart choices. David Bear says, push the green button more, even if a little more makes you a whole lot. Even a little more makes your whole life better. When you feel scared, you stop, you take a big breath and say, is the monster real or is it just in my head? So from there's a quiz. What are the 2 states David Bear says you live in? So obviously powerful and primal. What causes suffering according to David Bear? The meaning you attach to events. What percentage of the day do you need to be in a powerful state? 51% of the day. What's one way to interrupt a primal state? Yell at someone. I think that's a good one. Actually. Breathe and question the thought. What questions help you shift into a powerful state? What would I need to believe right now to feel empowered? So that's the gist, guys. I think that was really powerful. I got a lot from that. So last thing, I'll just share a quick little story. And I think this just parlays perfectly into my experience with David Bear. Before we do dive into that, let me just as I've shared this quite a bit. This is our Vision Espresso. To share a quick glimpse into it, it's a powerful opportunity to actually help you take the information of what David Bayer teaches and install it deep into that subconscious. Because like, it's great to learn this stuff one time, but how do we actually get it to actually live it, right? And that's what we've done with Vision Espresso. It's a custom audio from your future self that you listen to daily. That's in your voice. It has emotional frequencies that you listen to. It's basically a tool to help you just get into a powerful state more often. And the way you get into that is you take the vision quiz first to understand like, where is your clarity, where you're feeling stuck, where do you know exactly where you're going, how to shift all that very quickly so that you can just be a better version of yourself. And then from that clarity, you can be able to take that information and then create your Vision Espresso audio. And so we have a whole app. We're actually launching it to our community today. It's powerful. It's got so much cool functionality, but just wanted to share that real quick before I dive into this story. So as mentioned a lot in this video, I've been one to hold on tight. And that's something I'm committed to letting go of more and more and being much more in a powerful state more often, being that 51%, 61%, 71% as much as I possibly can. So, a couple of those things is like just having the awareness, but then taking big, deep breaths, right? And so what was interesting is I was at an event earlier this year, and my friend had just sent me a David Bayer video, and it was interesting because on that video, he was talking about how his podcast all of a sudden just started popping off. And, at this event, someone was asking him, why do you think that happened? And he basically said, like, my son was born. And I was like, your podcast took off because your son was born? And he said, no, my podcast took off because I put less importance on my podcast. It wasn't like so important. So ultimately what he was saying is that he let go. He was just like, I'll keep creating content. I'll keep putting it out there. And then there was an energetic shift in him that he wasn't wound so tight on it. And so from there, it just popped off. And so me, obliviously not taking that message in, I had Vision Espresso, and what I would do for a lot of these people that I wanted to connect with, and I saw that David was speaking, I made him a little sample version of our Vision Espresso that was his voice, his future self talking to him. And I thought that was really cool. And it is cool. But like, he had to leave like right after that. And I like chased him down. And he's like, I got to go, man. I don't have time to talk. And I was like, all right, I'll walk with you. And the thing is, like, what I'm sharing is like, none of this was like inherently bad or anything like that. But the way I went about it, because I was so tight, I was so like angsty about it, I like chased him down like, and I could sense him sensing that in me, and it just like felt embarrassing. And I've just noticed how like I've done that from time to time throughout my life. And that's why, again, I'm really committed to this new way of being, of just surrendering, trusting, letting go, having more faith in what is, and not trying to force things. That's what it felt like. It felt forced. And then it was interesting because I went to another event, and that's where I picked up this book, and I saw him. I had an opportunity to just go talk to him, but I didn't even want to, because I felt embarrassed about how I approached that interaction. And it just felt like, and there's like several other people walking with him, and I don't know, it's just like weird. So I don't want to live that way anymore. And so that's why I'm really committed to just like letting go more and more every day, and being in coherence, being in a powerful state at least 51% a day, and then continue to elevate that. So trust that you guys got something from that. Let me know that you did in the comments down below. Put a tree emoji down below if you're with the gang of the Just Grow crew. So thank you for watching this video. If you want to check out Vision Espresso, all the links will be down in the video description. I appreciate y'all, and we'll see you on the next one.